Good day to you, I'm LionHeartBlue, and welcome to another episode of my ScrapChat series. Today we are joined by the super Staynz. Hi there, Staynz.
Hi everybody, how are you?
Wonderful, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite, mate.
No, very happy for you to join. Yeah, very excited. So what I'll do is I'll let you wander down the street and choose which plot you'd like to build your house on. I'll do my usual say a few words, let you get your building blocks ready and start your build, and then I'll come and see you in a minute.
Very good. I'll go pick a spot.
Fantastic. So while Staynz wanders off there, I just want to remind everyone that you have the chance to become mayor of this town and have your own little building plot here. In order to do so, you have to enter the competition to name this town, this village, and what will happen is every guest who's come on this show will cast their vote in a few episodes time, and the lucky winner will be invited on for a special opening ceremony, if you like, or naming ceremony. So don't forget, get those village name suggestions in, and you too could be here. Amazing, wasting no time here. Look at that.
No, I am fantastic at building boxes, mate.
Good. Oh, sorry, I've just taken a block away by accident.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure.
I was meant to take away the for sale sign, but I decided I accidentally took a block. So we've had what now? Four episodes out so far. We've had a nice age range. So we've had some guests in their 40s. We've had some in their between the 20-30s. We've had a 10-year-old. Where do you fit in this age range?
I'm in the early 30s, so I suppose the 30 to 40 category.
Oh, fantastic! Excellent. And what country are you based in?
I'm in New Zealand.
Oh,
which
lovely.
is why I have the input delay, because I'm far away from everybody.
yeah, that could be it. Or it could be also the logic that's starting to be put into the houses, which doesn't help. But we should be fine.
I'm sure it'll be okay.
So apart from scrap mechanic, do you have any other hobbies? Any interests?
Quite a few. I'm actually more of an outdoors person than I am a gamer, if you will. But obviously, with the current state of things, that's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
So I tend to be playing quite a few games these days.
Right. So that was because of this current situation. It's kind of ramped up, or were you playing stuff before?
Oh no, I was definitely playing a lot before, but I suppose now I don't have a choice to make on the weekend. I've just got the one thing to do, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So when you were a kid, what did you think you would be when you grew up?
Oh, I never put any thought into it, to be honest. Grew up on a farm. So I was always out doing things and helping Dad in the workshop or something like that, and I've just sort of carried on down that trend.
Yeah, excellent. That's one thing Woody said, that when he was young, he thought he would work on a farm. So it's that's where you actually started.
Right.
Yeah.
I've put my stairs in the wrong place here. Let's see if I can cut them out. Nope, that's a fail.
Yeah, it's quite difficult getting the. It's quite a small area to work with, isn't it?
I forgot I need a landing at the top, otherwise I'm just going to walk into a wall.
Of course.
That's, not so helpful.
So when did you start your YouTube channel?
And as for starting my YouTube channel, in truth, that was a straight-up accident. Recently, I was fortunate enough to have gotten a new PC. It's the first one I've ever bought and not built, and it came with recording software on it. A friend of mine was also starting to play Scrap Mechanic and didn't believe I had built. It was an auto farm, I believe. So I just decided to put that up to share with him, and
Right.
people started asking questions, and so my YouTube channel was born.
I see. It's similar of how mine started. Yeah,
Right.
interesting.
So I suppose that's why I have a bit more of a relaxed approach to it than quite a few people, because I see YouTube as a game that interacts with my other games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what I get out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fun to interact with people.
Yeah. Cool. That's good. So obviously that's not something you do full time.
No, I would gladly do it full time one day if it ever got there, but it's just fun for now.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is it that you do full time? What is your job?
I suppose the easiest way to answer that is just to say I have an engineering background, and currently I'm a self-employed contractor.
Right. Do you think that helps at all with your scrap mechanic builds?
I would say it does. I have to be pretty creative, and I'm used to building things, so that does help with Scrap Mechanic.
Yeah.
The one thing that it doesn't help me with in Scrap Mechanic is everything in Scrap Mechanic is square blocks.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
took a bit of getting used to.
So when did you start playing scrap mechanic?
Probably, well, I'll go say 8 months or something like that. I think my YouTube channel has been going for about 5 or 6 months, and I was only playing a month or two before that started up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you got into it sort of after survival, or because of survival, not?
When survival dropped, actually, that's why I got into it.
Mm.
So that's probably a more jumping off the building.
So was there? I mean, what attracted you to the game, or who attracted you? Were there anyone you were watching, or did you just discover it on your own?
No, definitely what, not a who. I discovered it kept coming up on my watch list, but without creative, I didn't. Without survival, I didn't see the game in it. I thought it was just a Lego workshop. But as
Right.
soon as they added in survival and this all had a point, this is the perfect kind of game for me. It allows me to be creative and sort of has a point to being in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm an old Minecraft fan and stuff like that, heavily modded Minecraft, mind you. But yeah, so I sort of saw this as a new version of that, and well, here we are.
Oh, brilliant. So a lot of the people I've spoken to so far have said very similar things. How that they saw the creative game and thought, yeah, that looks pretty good, but it wasn't really until survival came and there was purpose to building creations and solving problems that they really got into it, which I think was the same for me as well. So I seem to be getting lag as well. I keep walking into walls as well.
Yeah, I get a bit of rubber banding and stuff. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's okay. It's okay.
Cool.
I don't mind looking the fool.
So I've obviously been watching your channel for a while. So you can tell anyone here who might not have seen your stuff, what sort of scrap mechanic content do you like to create for your channel?
I suppose I like the survival series because it's easier to record, if I can say that. But I also have a great deal of fun just making weird and wonderful things, and that's sort of the basis of my channel, whether it's a battleship or a fuel tanker or whatever the case is.
Yeah, so I've seen, I really enjoyed your, now I'm going to get the words wrong. Was it like you were building a train for your farm, right? Was that the word you used?
Yes, I did do that.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant.
I have to give some thanks for that, mate. I appreciate that, but I have to give the credit to, or some credit to, Salty Seraph, because he's actually the original person to do a farm there at the packing station.
Right.
But his is more of a machine factory, if I could say that,
Mm-hmm.
rather than a train system. But
Yeah.
I also noticed his was quite complicated,
Mm-hmm.
and it just inspired me to make a simple version, and that's why I made the train farm.
Yeah. I personally wouldn't necessarily say it was simple. As someone who's still struggling with the logic, but yeah, no, I thought it was good. And obviously,
No,
you had a series that you were starting survival again, but now you, if I'm not mistaken, you're now changing to do that a co-op survival. Is that right?
correct. Basically, all the success from my channel has come from my random build. So my survival series have always been, well, a bit forgotten and rubbish. So I decided to finally start a proper one, and some others have expressed interest in joining in, which
Hmm.
is great. It just means restarting a new map again, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
we are there now. And hopefully, the idea behind this is actually to set ourselves up for the new content for when the next big patch comes out.
yeah,
So when that happens, as a group, we can just straight into the new content in the survival world.
I see. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, yeah. So I think when this video comes out, you'll probably be a few weeks, probably a few episodes in.
I'm not trying to run away from you. I'm just trying to get back up to my
No, no,
roof.
you carry on. Don't worry about me. I tend to have a habit of following you around your building and getting in your way. So you just have to hammer me out of the way, or.
That's not a problem. I'm just trying to not fall off.
So, as much as everyone enjoys talking about scrap mechanic, there are obviously a lot of things people don't like about it as well. So I wondered what your biggest annoyance with it, if you like.
I think my biggest annoyance with Scrap Mechanic is probably also the thing I would give the developers some, if not the most credit for, and that is their engine. It's been a while since anybody's taken the time to actually make an engine for their game instead of just using Unreal or something like that.
Right.
And I think that's a very good step in in the right direction again for
Hmm.
making good games. However, I don't think their engine is quite up to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yes. Totally. Yeah.
I have to also just say, in regards to Axolot, not that I'm sure they will watch this, but for such a small team, they've done an amazing job, truly amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Cause, I mean, there's a lot of frustration around it. You know, like um, the well, I guess there's the lag, there's the strange physics sometimes, and certain things not optimized. But I think, as you say, they are a small team, and what they have produced, we've got an awful lot of fun out of. So can't really complain.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I mean, I'm 800 hours or something in, so you can't really complain too much.
No.
And as I mostly play for joy, not for creating content, that is sort of a statement. I think I've probably uh, only recorded 100 or 150 hours and edited that down, obviously, but of my gameplay,
Mm.
most of it has been just single player, and actually before I started YouTube.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I was going to ask. So if there was one thing that you could have get added to the vanilla game, what would you like to see?
One thing added to the vanilla game. I've come up with a few things, but I'll go with, on the off chance Axolot ever watches, um, uh, a future DLC or add-on, because we've got lots of components and things to build lovely creations, but could we have a few blocks, for example, a gun barrel and a trigger and stuff like that, so we could, say, make our own weapons or something like that?
Ah, yes, yes, I see. That would be good. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be too much, but just a few components will allow us to make quite a few wonderful things.
Yeah, totally. That's a good one. Yeah. And so what are you most looking forward to in chapter 2?
Mining Island.
Yeah, I think
I'm very curious to see how that's going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there that I think is interesting, with the new bot and with the sticky wheels, etc. But they're all things that we've kind of seen variations of. But the mining island, as you say, is new.
I'm also interested to know or find out what's going to happen with destroyable terrain, how that's going to work. Are we going to finally get dirt that we can put down somewhere so we don't have to build outside? Farms, I mean.
Yes, gotcha, yeah.
And how the engine is going to handle all of that digging and stuff. It's excitement and concern, but I know Axolot will get it sorted in the end, no matter what.
Yeah. I'm wondering whether there's only going to be certain areas that you can dig in, or you can destroy the terrain in, or is it actually going to be, like we hope, sort of like whole world, sort of.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well, I suppose we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well. So look forward to that.
Okay, now I need to. What am I going to use to build this out of?
So it's interesting that you said that you kind of found the game yourself. You weren't like watching anyone else play it before, because most of the people that I've spoken to so far have always, there's the same names come up every time, like the old Scrapman or Khan or those. They watched videos of them.
Once I started playing, I did watch a few of their videos, definitely. But I suppose I was never that big of a YouTuber to begin with. And even now, I try not watch other people's channels about scrap mechanic because it will influence my ideas and things. And I don't want to be put in a position where I'm copying people or anything like that.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's a good point, actually. I find that quite difficult as well. I've watched so many people, and then I start to build something, and you can feel like all their influences in your build, and you're like, hang on, this looks exactly like Khan's car or something. Yeah.
It's completely unintentional, but if you're exposed to a whole bunch, you just do that by default, and that's the sort of thing I try to avoid. Plus, I find it helps me actually come up with original ideas if I try and think of something myself rather than get an idea from watching somebody else.
Yeah, totally.
That being said, that's exactly what happened with Salty Syrup and my train farm. So it's tricky.
Yeah, well, I suppose those sometimes it's not a problem when you get inspiration from somewhere else, and like you said, you wanted to see if you could do it, make it a bit simpler, I guess, and add your own stamp to it, which is exactly what you did. So
just gonna. I need pipe pieces. And bubble wrap.
Oh, bubble wrap as well.
And getting all fancy.
I like your bubble wrap throne. Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be a chair for Cookbot, but I've just realised there's no bots here, so it doesn't.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was going to be a bar.
It's weird. I see when you were building it, I thought, when you were standing behind it, I thought that looks like a bar.
Yep, but without Cookbot, it's not going to be much of a bar, so I'm just going to leave it as the dingy downstairs torture table. Ooh, I do need to move that light.
I think that works quite well.
Is it that block? Yeah, that's
nice.
That's terrible as well. How about we put it in the middle? It's what happens when you don't build things on center.
So every episode, I ask the guests to come up with a question for the next guest. So obviously, the previous episode was Germanite. So he didn't know you were next, but his question was, would you be willing to have a logic competition with me, as in me, Lionheart?
I will graciously say yes, because I'm always keen to embarrass myself.
I think the embarrassment would probably come my way more than yours, but yeah, excellent. Okay, well, we'll have to arrange that. And what would your question be to the next guest of ScrapChat?
Well, I suppose my next question is sort of one you've already asked, and that is, if you had a direct line to the developer, what would you change, add, and remove? Can you pick one thing for each?
Okay, awesome.
But that's only because I didn't know who was coming next.
Of course.
The main thing that I originally thought of, but was a bit tricky and could be time consuming, was, are you able to build a vanilla flyer without using any suspension glitches that is controlled via a gyroscope?
Wow.
I have done this and know it is kind of tricky, and I've had many people show me their versions, which are all using glitches and other things. So that's why I was just, can you do it without?
I see. Well, I personally, I struggled to build a flyer. I ended up using one of Fant's tutorials, which uses a lot of suspension glitches to stabilize it. So I know that question wasn't directed at me, but I think that might be something I should have a go at some point as well.
Sure, it's actually a very fun challenge, because you've got to figure out how to make a gyroscope and then figure out how to tie that into the craft. It's very simple once you get to the end and you understand the mechanics involved, but it can be a little bit mind-bending to come to that simple conclusion.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I'll have to give that a go. So we just take a little look at your house now. Your the entrance, as you refer to it, is your torture table here.
Yes, needs some work, but but yeah, need to finish my sentences.
And your signature color on the banister here, which is I like. Comfortable little sofa up here.
And the rubber ducky just to make you feel better from a hard day of torturing downstairs.
Yeah, totally. Brilliant. No, I love it. And a slightly not slanted roof, what I'm trying to say.
Angled?
Angled roof, yes, thank you. I haven't built the roof
Well.
on mine yet, because I can't work out what to do. And as
Well,
you can
I
see,
was going to do a bit more of a shape to it, but I kept pulling off. So.
yeah, and it's not easy with the blocks, is it? That's why Germanite left his flat. Didn't care.
Looks like a base.
Yeah. Well, I really thank you very much for joining and answering my questions.
Thanks for the invite. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's been great to have you. So if you haven't seen Staynz's channel yet, I'll link it in the description, so you must go and see his stuff. Some really cool things there, which I think you'll really enjoy. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss any more episodes, make sure you subscribe and hit that alarm bell. Just remains to say thank you again, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye bye. I think what the suggestion is that we'd have to write some sort of using logic, some sort of timer.
Sure, I can build many types of timers, so I'm good for that one.
Right, well, you're already ahead of me then. I wouldn't even know where to start, but